Hi everyone, this is Arvind from MindMajix, and today I welcome you all to this amazing session on data engineer interview questions. Okay, so guys, in this particular video, we are going to cover each and every question that is essential for you to crack the data engineer role at your dream company. Okay, so once you go through these videos like this particular video on data engineering interview questions, this video will serve you as a revision purpose just before your actual interview. Okay, so through this video, you can keep a track of the concepts that you already know and the concepts that you don't know. Okay, so in case of the concepts that you already know, so the questions in this video will be a revision for you. And for those concepts that you don't know, you will become aware or you will be gaining more knowledge about those concepts in this particular video. So without any further delay, let's get started. The first question is a very basic and a very simple question. What do you mean by data engineering? Okay, so data engineering is another name that is frequently used to refer to big data. The gathering of the data and conducting of research are the primary aspects or focuses of this particular section. So in simple words, the data produced by the various sources are unprocessed, and the process of transforming this raw data into informative material is aided by the data engineering. So this was a quick definition of data engineering. And now the next question is, what do you mean by data modeling? So data modeling is a technique for simplifying complex software design so that everyone can easily understand it. So it is a conceptual illustration of the relationships between the different data objects and the data rules. So it is a representation in the abstract of data objects that are linked together by some particular rules. The next question is, what are the most common issues that are faced by data engineers? So guys, the most common issues or problems that are faced by data engineers are, as you can see on the screen, data management. So what do you mean by data management? So right from gathering data till the final stage of data processing. So that is all about data management. Then the next issue is the end user understanding. So whatever persons or the stakeholders that are involved in the project, so understanding of the project or the data to the end users. So this is the one of the most common issues that is faced by data engineers. Then you have the problem of system integration, regulatory compliances, and human errors. The next question is, what should one expect as a data engineer? So guys, basically this question talks about the responsibilities and roles of a data engineer. So the responsibilities of a data engineer include collecting, managing, transforming unstructured data into knowledge that both data scientists and business analysts can utilize. So accessibility of data, which grants companies the ability to use data for the purpose of performance evaluation and improvement, is their ultimate goal. The next question is, what information does a data engineer need to know? So guys, basically this question talks about the skills that are important for a data engineer. So data engineers need to have expertise in various areas such as databases, data infrastructure construction, containerization, and big data frameworks. So the ideal candidate also need to have hands-on experience with technologies such as Hadoop, Scala, HPCC, MapReduce, RapidMiner, Cloudera, SAS, SPSS, R, Python, Kubernetes, Docker, Pig, Hive, Spark, and so on. The next question is, what are the biggest issues or problems with big data? So guys, businesses have to deal with many issues related to big data, and those issues are data quality, data storage, requirement for data science experts, data validation, and data aggregation. The next question is, how to deploy a big data solution? So guys, there are a few steps that you must take into account if you want to implement or deploy a big data solution. And those steps are tools or databases such as MySQL, SAP, RDBMS, and Salesforce can all be used to integrate the data together. Then you must put the information that you have gathered into a HDFS or a NoSQL database. So guys, what is HDFS? HDFS stands for Hadoop Distributed File System. And Apart from this, you can also use NoSQL databases such as MongoDB for this purpose. After this, you use processing frameworks like Spark, Pig, Hive, MapReduce to roll out your big data solution. So these are some of the steps that you must follow to implement a big data solution. The next question is, what are the daily responsibilities of a data engineer? So guys, this question, like the answer to this question, can depend on person to person. Like if you're someone who's having some amount of experience or you have worked on projects related to data engineering, then you can answer this question very easily. So the first responsibility over here is designing, implementation, and upkeeping of the structural systems. After this, you also have to design in accordance with the operational needs of your company or the project that you're working on. After this, you must be able to execute the processes that are used for gathering information and building databases. The next step or the responsibility would be using statistical and machine learning models. And last but not the least, as a data engineer, it is your responsibility to build the data transformation and ETL processing pipelines. The next question is, how can data analytics and big data help a company make revenue? So the ways in which data analytics and big data can be used to boost the businesses are as by making use, I repeat, by making good use of data to promote the company's expansion. So company can use the data to increase the revenue or the profits of the organization. Apart from this, it can boost the benefits to the customer base. And using data analytics or big data, you can refine the staffing projections as well. And last but not the least, you can lessen or decrease the company's production costs. So this will ultimately increase the profit for the company. The next question is, do data engineers gather data? So data engineers collect and clean data for the use by data scientists and analysts. So data engineers often work in small groups to collect, ingest, and analyze data from start to finish. So along with data engineers, data analysts also work with data engineers in this particular process. So the next question is, why are you interested in the data engineer position at our company? So guys, this particular question is a very subjective question. So depending upon the company and the role that you're applying for, so you can answer this question in your own particular way. So basically, the person conducting the interview wants to know how much preparation you have put into researching this position before applying for it. And when responding to such questions, you must be sure to provide a concise explanation of how would you go about developing a plan that is compatible with the organization's structure, and how would you go about putting that plan into action and ensuring that it is successful by first gaining an understanding of how the organization manages its data infrastructure. So if you read the job descriptions and research a bit about the company, it will be easier for you to answer such questions. The next question is, do you have experience in working with big data in the cloud? So again, guys, if you have experience of working with big data on cloud platforms such as AWS, GCP, or Azure, then you will be easily able to answer this question. So this question gives the interviewer the insight into your level of preparedness to work into the cloud, which is where most of the businesses are moving shortly. So the benefits of cloud computing and your familiarity with the cloud environment should be highlighted in your resume. So if you talk about the benefits of working with big data in the cloud, so here you have security and mobility with your data. You also have flexibility and scalability, and you have risk-free data access from anywhere. So these are some of the biggest highlights of working with big data in the cloud. The next question is, explain block scanner and block in HDFS. So data file is broken down into most of its basic unit, which is called a block. So Hadoop will automatically break down large files into more manageable chunks for you to work with. So the block scanner is responsible for ensuring that the list of blocks that are presented on a data node is accurate. The next question is, what happens if a block scanner finds a flawed data block? So when a block scanner detects a bad data block, it will follow a few steps. The first step is when the block scanner discovers a problematic data block, the data node immediately notifies the name node. After this, whenever a block replica becomes corrupt, the name node will begin the process of creating a new replica from scratch. And in the third step, a comparison is made between the replication factor and the number of reliable copies. So in the event of a match, the corrupted data block will remain in place. The next question is, what are the Hadoop's various XML configuration files? So guys, there are different types of XML configuration files which are present in Hadoop, and those files are core site.xml, mapread site.xml, yarn site.xml, and HDFS site.xml. The next question is, what are some of the features of Hadoop? So Hadoop is basically a free and open source framework that anyone can use. Hadoop is compatible with many hardware services, making additional new hardware to a node very easy. So with Hadoop, processing data at scale can happen much more quickly. In this way, the data is protected from the interference with the cluster's other tasks as well. And Hadoop enables the creation of 3 identical copies of each block across multiple nodes. The next question is, describe the main ways to use the reducer. So guys, there are basically 3 ways of using the reducer. The first one is configuration. So here the input data size and the location of the distributed cache are both determined. The next step is cleanup. During this process, the temporary files are deleted or cleared. And last but not the least, you have the reduce. So to accomplish the reduced task, the reducer's core is contacted just once for each particular key. The next question is, list some of the most important fields or languages a data engineer uses on a day-to-day basis. So typically, data engineers specialize in one or more of the programming languages, such as R, Python, or Java. And apart from this, a data engineer knows machine learning algorithms. Then he must be aware of the probability and the linear algebra. Then he must know about Hive query language and SQL and NoSQL databases as well. And a key skill or knowledge that a data engineer must possess is trend analysis and regression techniques. The next question is, what do you mean by orchestration? So guys, IT departments must maintain many servers and applications, but doing it manually isn't scalable. So the more complicated an IT system is, the more difficult it is to keep the track of all the moving elements. So as the requirement to combine numerous automated jobs and their configurations across groups of systems or machine grows, so does the demand to combine multiple automated tasks and their configuration across groups of systems or machines. So this is where orchestration comes in very handy. So the automated configuration, management, and coordination of computer systems, applications, and services is known as orchestration. So IT can manage complicated process and workflows more easily with the orchestration. So there are many container orchestration platforms available in the market, such as Kubernetes and OpenShift. The next question is, describe the Hadoop distributed file system or the HDFS. So guys, in this particular question, in the actual interview, what you must do is you must take a piece of paper, and on that paper, you must draw the diagram of the Hadoop distributed file system. And after drawing the diagram, you must explain the working procedure of HDFS. So Hadoop is compatible with many scalable distributed file systems, including the HFTP S3, HDFS, and the file system. So the Google file system is the foundation upon which HDFS was constructed. So this file system was developed to function smoothly across a large-scale distributed computing environment. The next question is, describe the primary responsibilities of a data engineer. So the work of a data engineer encompasses a wide variety of responsibilities, and they are responsible for the system that serves as the data source. So data engineers are responsible for eliminating redundant data and simplifying complex data structures. Apart from this, the ELT and the data transformation services are frequently provided as well by data engineers. The next question is, what are the core components of Hadoop? So there are basically 4 core components of Hadoop. And the first one among that is Hadoop Common. So here the various Hadoop related software packages and the resources are found. Then you have the HDFS or the Hadoop distributed file system. So this is the location where Hadoop stores its data. HDFS is used to store data in a decentralized manner. So a name node and a data node are the constituent parts of the HDFS. Although there will only be one name node, there could be many data nodes. The next component is the MapReduce. So MapReduce functions as the processing unit for Hadoop. In the MapReduce technique, the processing is carried out on agent nodes and the primary node receives the result of the work once it is completed. And last but not the least, you have the YARN. So YARN basically stands for yet another resource negotiator. And this is a part of Hadoop resource management and a component of Hadoop version 2, and it is included in the Hadoop distribution. So this particular component is in charge of the management of cluster resources to prevent any machine from becoming overloaded. The next question is, name the port numbers where Hadoop's NameNode, job tracker, and task tracker are run by default. So default Hadoop port numbers for the NameNode, task tracker, and job tracker are, as you can see on the screen. So NameNode uses the port number 50070, task tracker uses port number 50060, and job tracker uses port 50030. The next question is, what exactly do you mean by rack awareness? So when writing or reading any file that is located closer to the nearest rack to the write or read request, the name node in the Hadoop cluster uses the data node to improve the flow of network traffic. So to compile rack information, name node maintains a record of the rack ID for each data node. So within Hadoop, this concept is referred to as rack awareness. The next question is, what does a distributed cache in Apache Hadoop do? So Hadoop contains a feature called as the distributed cache, which is a helpful utility that caches files that are used by application. So this speeds up the work that needs to be done, and using job configuration settings, an application can specify a file to be used for the cache. So these files are copied to all of the Hadoop framework nodes involved in a process that needs to be finished. So this is done in advance of the actual task being carried out. So read-only files, zip files, and jar files can all be distributed successfully because of distributed caching. The next question is, can a data engineer handle the ETL process? So guys, ETL basically stands for the extract, transform, and loading. So ETL is also considered a part of data engineering because data engineers are skilled at collaborating with various systems and technologies to get the data ready for consumption. So the data engineering process involves ingesting, transforming, delivering, and sharing of data so that it can be analyzed. The next question is, are data engineers programmers? So as a data engineer, you will have to work with various computer programming languages, and for this you must have good coding skills. So just to give you an example, you must be aware of shell scripting, Perl, .NET, R, Python, and apart from this, you must also know Java and Scala programming languages because they allow you to work with MapReduce, which is a crucial Hadoop component. The next question is, are APIs created by data engineers? So data engineers use tools such as SQL and Java to gain access to data stored in the source systems and transfer that data to target locations. So the construction of distributed ETL pipelines is accomplished with Python. So guys, the next important question is, what is the difference between a data scientist and a data engineer? So if you talk about data scientist, so data science in general is a vast area of study. So it focuses on data extraction from very large data sets, which is frequently known as big data. And data scientists work in many different sectors such as business, government, and applied sciences. So the objective drives all the data scientists is to examine data and draw conclusions about data that are pertinent to their line of work. And now if you talk about data engineers, so data engineers' duty is to create and integrate various system components while considering the information requirements, business objectives, and end user needs. So this calls for the development of a very complex data pipeline. So these data pipelines take raw, unstructured data from many sources, just like oil pipelines do, and then they direct them into a single database or other larger structure for the storage purpose. The next question is, do data engineers test the products that they create? So data engineers are responsible for ensuring that all of the data assets pass multiple data quality checks, which are required for all of the data assets. So numerous examples exist that includes workflows for data pipelines, ETL scripts, and jobs. So they collaborate with the various stakeholders to review the requirements for the complex data systems and develop test plans for those particular systems. So guys, with this, we have come to the end of this session on data engineering interview questions. I hope you guys have enjoyed this session and understood whatever concepts that we have discussed in this particular video. If at all you have any queries or doubts related to this session, then you can write your queries in the comment section and we will try to resolve your queries as early as possible. So guys, thank you so much for being with us and I wish you all the very best for your upcoming data engineering interview at your dream company.